And here's our second aboard Wits End, the current point leader in C-Class, and there you see the hands of driver Bobby Whitko. Wits End had a great race against Armed and Dangerous 2 weeks ago in Detroit. Wits End came in first, Armed and Dangerous in second in C-Class. Let's look at some of the other competition. Mr. Goodwrench, Foster's Blue Thunder, and Riddler, those are the other competitors in C-Class. Once again, you're looking at Wits End right now in the hands of Mr. Bobby Whitko, the driver of Wits End. Our third onboard camera is aboard Steel Lightning, and there it is. We're also able to patch into the intercom system, listen to the pre-race conversation between Al Wagner and Al Steele.
Okay, off the turnboat, the race is about to begin. Hallelujah. Yes. They got smoke yet? I can't quite see it. NXS is falling behind us, so. Okay. Yeah, there's smoke now. Okay, they'll start lining this up.
Yeah, race control all units on 78 Alpha. All units on 78A. We have smoke. We'll have a short start very shortly.
Yeah, we should be just about in the right position here. Yeah.
In that conversation, you also heard the voice of Tony Milia from U.S. Offshore Communications doing a fine job coordinating this race. And there you can see we're over the milling area. There's the orange smoke that Alan was talking about. That is the 2-minute signal. We're just a few minutes away from the beginning of this 1993 $75,000 Virginia Beach Offshore Grand Prix. We're going with the first start today of this race, and that will include the Super, the Open, the Modified, and the Pro Stock. And that really amounts to about half the field of the race today, so it should be a pretty exciting start here to this 1993 Virginia Beach Grand Prix. There's Arasaki and Ocean Outboard. Ocean Outboard has entered 3 races this year and has won 3 races. Gifford Marine, the point leader in its class. And there is the Virginia Beach skyline in the background. And there, of course, you also see the beach. Great place to watch this race, either from one of your hotel rooms or right on the beach or one of the spectator boats. Ideal place for an event of this kind. And there now we begin to see the boats getting into a lining up position. Hustler Powerboats is supplying the pace boat for this race, and there you see now the boats are maneuvering, lining up. And as we see them line up, we've got Patriot, How Sweet It Is, and Ocean Outboard. We've got a yellow flag right now, just a few moments away from the beginning of this race. Patriot, How Sweet It Is, and Ocean Outboard lining up at the very beginning here, just a few moments away. And now we have a green flag. The 1993 Virginia Beach Offshore Grand Prix has begun. And we've got Patriot, How Sweet It Is, and Ocean Outboard. And now as we look, we see How Sweet It Is taking the immediate lead, with Patriot and Ocean Outboard behind. Now looking back on the field, we've got Mr. Goodwrench, Jaws, Insanity, BFI Systems, Predator, Team Jaguar, and Ocean Outboard. And now we move back up to the leaders. We've got How Sweet It Is, Patriot, and of course Ocean Outboard. As we go on board now, How Sweet It Is, you see How Sweet It Is pulling away from Patriot and Ocean Outboard on the left. How Sweet It Is. Aboard How Sweet It Is, Jim McIntyre, the driver, driving for the first time. Throttle man Terry Ayers from St. Louis, Missouri. How Sweet It Is, the current leader right now in the early moments of this 1993 Virginia Beach Offshore Grand Prix. There's Patriot and Ocean Outboard on the left side of the picture. How Sweet It Is pulling away. It's How Sweet It Is, Patriot, and Ocean Outboard. Here's How Sweet It Is in front with Patriot on the inside, the leader in P class. How Sweet It Is right now, the current leader in the early moments of this race. How Sweet It Is. Here's Team Jaguar on the inside and Ocean Outboard on the outside in open class now. Coming up on How Sweet It Is. There you see How Sweet It Is in the middle. Team Jaguar and Ocean Outboard now coming up close and passing How Sweet It Is in D class. Once again, we're on board now, How Sweet It Is, and there you see Team Jaguar on the left and Ocean Outboard on the right in open class, as they are now coming close to How Sweet It Is and passing How Sweet It Is in D class. Of course, Team Jaguar and Ocean Outboard are in open. There's the current leader in D class, How Sweet It Is 2. How Sweet It Is 2 is a 32-foot skater powered by two 600-horsepower MRD inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. There's our freeze-frame helicopter in the background, Mr. Tom McCready from Helicopter Transport. The owner of How Sweet It Is 2, Mr. Carl Myers from Canada's New York. The driver, driving for the first time, Jim McIntyre from East Yaphank, New York. The throttle man, Terry Ayers from St. Louis, Missouri. How Sweet It Is 2, the current leader in D class. Some previous finishes include first place in Long Beach, California with an average speed of 79.81 miles per hour. First place in San Diego at 89.35 miles per hour. A first place in Lake Peoria. First place in Montauk with an average speed of 87.73. And a second place in United Grocers in D class, and a first place in New Orleans. That was the first time that it took a checkered flag for the APBA in M class. How Sweet It Is 2, the current leader in D class. Some of How Sweet It Is 2 sponsors include Sweeteners Plus and Reebok. Just listen to those two 600 horse-powered MRD inboards. How Sweet It Is 2 in first place in D class. The current leader in open class is Gifford Racing. Gifford Racing is a 40-foot Jaguar powered by two 850 horsepowered inboards with number 6 drives. The driver is Bill Gifford. At the throttle, Rich Dancision from Toms River, New Jersey. Bill is from Egg Harbor, New Jersey. Gifford Racing took third place in Montauk with an average speed of 92.48 miles per hour. First place in Erie, Pennsylvania. Fifth place in Point Pleasant, and a third place in Detroit. Currently, it is third in Northeast Point standings, first nationally, and first in the Central Division. You're looking at Gifford Racing, currently number 1 in open class. Some of Gifford Racing crew members include Steve Silagi, Jerry Followine, Joe Halbrunner, Mike Burke, Sue Gifford, and Bill Gifford Jr. Sponsors Bell Atlantic and Sunoco Racing Fuels. Gifford Racing, number 1 in open class. Once again, these are the early moments of the 1993 Virginia Beach Offshore Grand Prix, coming to you from Virginia Beach, Virginia. You're watching Gifford Racing, right now the leader in open class. Also number 1 nationally, Gifford Racing. Number 2 is Team Jaguar, and 3 Ocean Outboard in open class. Gifford Racing.